It's time for Recipe of the Day. I know that I tell you quite often about the mushroom sauce that we eat on pierogies for Christmas Eve and Ukrainian Christmas Eve. That is not quite this recipe. That is a different recipe that is really just sauteed mushrooms, dried mushrooms that have been rehydrated, and then cream and salt. There's nothing really else in there, and it is luscious and delicious. That I will link to for you. But today's is more of a traditional gravy with flour and stock, and then there is some cream in it. So how do you make this mushroom gravy? You're going to start by melting 3 tablespoons of butter in a large saucepan over medium heat. Once it's melted, add in 1 chopped up onion and saute until it's nice and soft and translucent, a few minutes. Then you're adding in a full pint of sliced white mushrooms. You can use the sliced cremini mushrooms if you'd rather, or some chopped up portobello, or you could do sliced shiitake if you want it to go into like a more robust flavored kind of gravy. You just want to be using fresh mushrooms, that's all, and you have them sliced. So you add those mushrooms into that butter and onion, and you cook, stirring occasionally until they're nice and soft, about 5 minutes. Then add 3 tablespoons of flour, just sprinkle that all over top and stir it in, and then cook it for a few minutes. It'll just kind of cook out some of the raw flavor, and it also adds that nutty browned flavor, which is going to be really important if you're making this vegetarian. And your next step is adding 1.5 cups of vegetable broth or vegetable stock. You can do this with beef broth if you're not making it vegetarian, and then that gets you some of that meaty, dark flavor as well, right? Okay, so you added the 3 tablespoons of flour, stirred and cooked that for a little while, then slowly drizzle in 1.5 cups of stock or broth while stirring continuously, and then you're going to let that come up to a simmer. It's going to thicken, and then you stir in 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Alternatively, you can use 1/2 and 1/2, or if you want this to have like a stroganoff kind of feel to it, take it off the heat and stir in 1/2 cup of sour cream. If you're using the sour cream, you don't want it to heat anymore though, because it can curdle. You're also adding in a few dashes of Worcestershire sauce. Stir that, give it a taste, and then add some salt and pepper. And like I said, so if you were using the sour cream, you take it off the heat before you add the sour cream. If you were using heavy cream or 1/2 and 1/2, you could just kind of warm it through for a minute or two, but you don't necessarily want it to come right up to a simmer. Okay, so you've added your cream or sour cream, your Worcestershire, your salt, and your pepper to taste, and then you serve. This is wonderful on mashed potatoes, egg noodles, even rice. It's great spooned onto bread and then topped with cheese and melted. You can do so many things with this. It's just delicious mushroom gravy. I will put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there. Everything there is arranged by date, so it's helpful to know that today is August 10th of 2025. And if you love this recipe and you love my recipes in general, I'm going to tell you to bookmark my site, cookthestory.com, and also thecookful.com. And then when you're looking for something online to make, you can go there first. The other thing you can do is when you're looking to make a recipe, like you want to make mushroom gravy or you want to make meatloaf, search for that phrase followed by Cook the Story on Google and you will find me. So you search for meatloaf, Cook the Story, and it usually shows up things from both websites, but it's a quick way to find the recipes that you want, that you know, that you could trust. These are created by me, a real person, not AI or anything like that. So you know that they are going to work for you. I'm Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, the all new chicken cookbook, and from this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.